My name is Bolat Atabayev. I'm a theater director from Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan is my country. It is located in Central Asia. I am a successful director, rather well known in my country. Until 1998, I lived like everybody else. I had my lunches, I got dressed in the morning to go to work, I traveled, I wasn't involved in politics. I thought that I was a person of art. And I trusted my president, President Nazarbayev. Now you can see him on the screen. But the moment of truth came. I realized we're building a wrong country. Leo Tolstoy said, I cannot be silent. And I said the same thing. I'm tired of criticizing everybody and everything, being a couch potato. So once I said to myself, hey you, pull your ass off the couch and do what you like, do what you need. It's been 14 years that I have not been silent. The situation of common people and the civil society in the country is deteriorating. Kazakhstan is very rich in natural resources. We have a lot of oil and natural gas, non-ferrous metals, rare earth elements, uranium. Those are our natural riches. Kazakhstan is number 9 in the world in terms of the size of its territory. At the same time, the population is only 16.5 million people. So there is a natural question, why am I standing here in front of you and why am I expressing my dissatisfaction? Until 1991, Kazakhstan was a part of the Soviet Union, one of the 15 republics that comprised the USSR. The Communist Party governed the empire. After the breakup of the Soviet Union, power in Kazakhstan shifted to the same communists. That is to Mr. Nursultan Nazarbayev. Our current president, Nursultan Nazarbayev, actually used to be the first secretary of the Communist Party in Kazakhstan. And he used to be the leader of our republic even before the breakup of the Soviet Empire. He used all kinds of administrative and financial resources of Kazakhstan. That is why it was easy for him to win the first presidential election as well as all the subsequent elections. In spite of the lip service statements of the authorities that Kazakhstan is a democratic country, it is in fact a totalitarian state. All power in the country belongs to one person, that is Mr. Nursultan Nazarbayev. He is the head of the government and the state since 1989. When his first term expired, and according to the constitution he could not be re-elected legally, Mr. Nazarbayev adopted a new law, a law on the first president of Kazakhstan. Now, Mr. Nazarbayev has the right to be re-elected as president for an indefinite amount of times. So, de facto, he's a president for life. In June 2010, we adopted a new law on the leader of the nation. Nazarbayev received the title the leader of the nation. According to that law, even if he stops being a president, Nazarbayev has the authority to control the government structures and the new president of the country on all significant issues, national security as well as domestic and foreign policy. As the leader of the nation, Nazarbayev is free from civil or criminal responsibility for any actions. He cannot be detained, arrested, or searched. Nazarbayev and the members of his family are guaranteed inviolability of their property as well as their banking information and their bank accounts. We, taxpayers, according to that law, are not authorized to ask him questions, how much money he has, and what kind of assets he owns. The country, Kazakhstan, that is, does not have independent judiciary. A citizen cannot get justice in a legal kind of way. It means that every condition is created to set up extremism, terrorism, and for them to flourish. There is total corruption. That corruption has paralyzed all the government structures, and it made honest business impossible. There is systematic and brutal repression of the dissent. There are some rare publications that belong to the opposition. However, they are closed by courts. Journalists are threatened, sued in court, imprisoned, and even killed. The political opposition has been destroyed, and whatever is left is underground. Opponents are threatened, they are jailed, and they're even killed. Over here, you can see our well-known politician of the opposition, Mr. Altenberg Sarsenbayev. He himself, his security guard, and his driver were kidnapped and shot dead by the people from the National Security Committee of the Kazakhstan. They did it because he was against President Nazarbayev and opposed him. On the 15th of June, 2012, in the city of Almaty, I was arrested by the employees of the Committee of the National Security of Kazakhstan. The arrest was made on trump-up charges for my political activity. Next to my house, they gave me the arrest warrant. I said I wanted to make a phone call to my lawyer. However, they immediately attacked me. They were 3 employees of the committee. They attacked me and wanted to take my phone. I didn't give the phone to them. I was beaten, handcuffed, and I was put into a van. On the same day, a young journalist was arrested, Mr. Bolat Atabayev. He's only 24 years old. In June and August 2011, myself and Mr. Mamai supported a strike of the oil workers of Mangistau. It's a place in the western part of Kazakhstan. The oil rig workers wanted social justice and better pay. I personally encouraged the oil workers to use only peaceful means to achieve their goals. I told them it's their legal right. Myself and Vladimir Kozlov, Serik Sapragali, and other people saw this is the first sign of the civil society. For the first time, the culture of dissent has been forming. 7,000 people peacefully protested against social injustice. That was for the first time in the country. And how did those peaceful demonstrations end? On the 16th of December 2011, here you can see how the people were shot, how the oil workers were shot. On the 16th of December 2011, that was the 20th anniversary of the Republic of Kazakhstan. The authorities shot at the people who were on strike. That was indeed the peak of the cruelty of the Nazarbayev regime. 17 people died and over 100 people were injured. Many people disappeared without a trace. Some people videotaped that massacre on their cellular phones and put it on YouTube. That was the only reason why the society learned about what the authorities have done. Rosa Tulitaeva, 46 years old, you can see her on the screen, she's a mother of 3. She told in court during her trial that during the investigation, she was hanged by her hair, suffocated with a trash bag, she was sexually abused. Her children also were threatened. She refused to provide all the details of what has been done to her. She explained that she was ashamed. I myself was present in the courtroom when she was on trial. 30 people were put on trial. 30 oil workers were put on trial because they were on strike because they wanted attention. Another example, Mr. Kairat Edilov. They wanted him to accuse 15 people and provide testimony. He refused to do it. After that, they started beating him. They put a plastic bag and tried to suffocate him 6 times. They threatened to rape him and then put the video online. There are many such examples. However, the judge refused to accept their statements. For review by the court, he said they were unjustified. Not a single investigator who tortured and raped the detained and who threatened their families has been punished. Today, I'm standing here, and in the town of Aktau, right now, there is a court. My fellow citizens, Mr. Kozlov, Mr. Sapargali, and Mr. Aminev are being on trial. I was let out of jail because of the intervention of the world community. I was let out of jail because of my friends in Germany, in Berlin, in Moscow, in London. All my friends encouraged the authorities to let me go. Vladimir Kozlov, Mr. Sapargali, and Mr. Aminev are not known abroad. Today, at least as of yesterday, they could be imprisoned for 9 years in jail because they supported the oil workers. When the massacre happened, when they were shooting at the oil workers on the 16th of December, 17 people died. Nobody's looking for their murderers. Who gave the order to shoot at unarmed people at a peaceful demonstration? Who brutally tortured the detained, trying to extract the testimony against Mr. Kozlov and Mr. Sapargali? The court needs to find answers to those questions instead of persecuting innocent people. The prosecutors, however, try them for inciting social hatred, for trying to overthrow the constitutional system of Kazakhstan, for quote-unquote participating in a criminal organization. So there are 3 major articles they're accused on. Can you trial a person for his convictions? Then we need to recognize that Kazakhstan is like North Korea. It's a totalitarian state and not a democratic one. Nazarbayev is concerned about his reputation. Let's take Vladimir Kozlov as a way of example. Now he's being on trial. The fact that they let me go, that they let me go out of jail, is only because of the support of my friends, of my comrades, and my colleagues, especially foreign colleagues. However, I know there are some Western businessmen who work on Almaty. They also think that Nazarbayev created a political system which is went on, that completely destroyed the civil society in Kazakhstan. However, when it comes to their business, when it comes to their economic interests of themselves and their countries, they forget about moral values. They say we are not entitled to interfere into domestic affairs of another country. I'm sorry, our countries are the members of the OSCE and of the United Nations. It means that we have to follow accepted rules of behaving in other countries. Or does it mean that we are democratic only in our countries at home, and in foreign countries where there is a lot of raw materials to extract and where the fundamental rights of humans are violated, we are blind and deaf? On the one side of the scale, we have the democratic values, the human rights, the freedom of speech, and on the other scale, we have natural resources of Kazakhstan, that is all uranium, non-ferrous materials. And it looks like the natural resources cup is getting heavier. Does it mean a double standard, or is it no standard at all? I would like to address all of you to this high forum. I would like to encourage your leaders not to negotiate with our president. I would like to remember that behind those natural resources, you should see the tears of common people. Thank you. Thank you for your attention.